Hey, this is Sports, and you're listening to WRSU FM New Brunswick.
Home of Rutgers Radio.
Well, thank you guys for being here and being a part of this interview today. And I love the outsideness. I feel like left out, but you know. So I guess both of you are back in Oklahoma, and you also stay in California sometimes, right? What's it like? What do you prefer? Do you like making music more in California, Oklahoma? What's your vibe?
Well, I lived in LA the last 3 years, and I just moved back to Tulsa, Oklahoma in November. So we haven't been since I moved. But we'll probably shoot music videos out in California. But yeah. I mean, the weather's, that's the one thing LA will always have over everybody else is just like comfortable temperatures all year round. But I'm kind of enjoying the seasons just because I felt like, except for that one winter storm that was pretty annoying. I got pretty tired of that. But yeah, just experiencing like cold weather has been kind of fun this year, and spring, I don't know, makes me appreciate the seasons more, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. That's nice. So we're here, talking about your new EP, Get a Good Look Pt.1. So obviously part one, there definitely means there's a part two, and I've heard it's more rock and roll sounding, and obviously this EP is more synth pop, indie, psychedelic rock, and pretty much what you guys have perfected. And what was the decision for this next EP, making it more rock and roll? How did you decide to make the first one, more of your synth pop, sound?
It's very kind that you said we perfected it.
I feel like you guys really have. I've been listening to you for so long, so I'm like, this is just, it gets better and better every time.
I don't think we made like a conscious decision to change the way it sounded. I think that's just naturally happened, not even wanting to make something different. It's just like, that's what
came to be.
We're listening to different stuff, or we're just in different environments, and it's as not a great answer, but it just kind of naturally happened.
But it's true,
which is cool.
Yeah. What were you guys?
And
go ahead.
And I would say too, like, I think we said rock and roll at some point somewhere in some interview, but I wouldn't say that it's really truly rock and roll. It's still pretty synthy and but it does have such a different energy. It just sounds more like it could be played in an arena or something.
That's
kind of what we mean by that.
That's sick.
It just sounds bigger and not so like. It's just, to me, I don't know how it could be classified as bedroom pop anymore.
Yeah.
Which is good to me. Like, I think that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. What did you guys listen to in preparation for making this EP, and what were you really inspired by? Or
I think at the time, because even these songs, they're probably, most of them were written several months ago, last summer or last fall or something. I can't remember, but I do remember I don't remember what I was listening to, if I'm being totally honest. But I don't know. I think I think there's this book that David Byrne wrote called How Music Works, and I haven't read it, but I've read the first chapter, and it's all about how you kind of subconsciously write songs that will sound good in the types of rooms you play. He had that was his theory, punk bands make punk music because it sounds good, and those little shitty clubs, I guess,
and DIY shows and house shows and stuff.
So but it kind of made me think I want to play bigger rooms, so we should make bigger music.
I
don't know, I think I kind of let that kind of fester into the songwriting process, I guess.
So
just for fun.
So for you said you want to make this music for bigger rooms and stuff. I guess So do you miss like touring and all of that and all that fun, you know?
Oh yeah.
I think that's the best
just,
part.
Yeah, that's such a huge part of, I mean, what we do. And they call it a cycle, like you're in a record cycle. So you work on the music, you do all the videos and all the design and stuff like that, and then you put it out, and then you go tour it, which is a whole nother part of it, where you actually get to meet the people and see how the music, affects them. So putting this EP out, we didn't have that chance to tour it, and it's been tough. And I don't want to like say like as musicians like we had it the worst, because by all means we are very fortunate that we are able to even do this. There's people out there who are like, they don't have a job at all, and like the pandemic really affected them. But it just goes a part of like what we do. Touring it is just something we love and enjoy, and are literally counting down the days until we get to do it again, which is so exciting.
I feel like it's gonna be so close too. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, on top of that, like the touring kind of informs our songwriting too. Like I feel like when we play shows and like see crowds and how they react, that kind of just like, whether subconsciously or consciously, it just kind of like informs me like what I want to make so that I can perform it on stage, like it's just kind of part of what inspires us to write new songs as well, is like playing shows. So but yeah, I mean, like Christian said, like live music's like the last thing that's going to come back, but it does feel like it's coming back pretty soon. Like we have some optimism for once.
I saw yesterday or a couple of days ago, like Bonaroo was like, oh, we're coming back, like the festival in September. And I was like, that's so exciting. I like texted my mom, was like, we have to go. Like she loves like so many of the artists on there. I was like, we gotta go. But I feel like it's like it's gonna come, so close. But what were your favorite songs to record? Like what were your favorite the favorite reactions you got from the crowd? Like which songs did you think they loved the most, and what did you love to perform the most, and what are you excited to perform?
Well, we actually got to, before we put out Get a Good Look Part 1, we went on a support tour and got to perform some of the songs that were going to be on the record before they were out. And we got to play Baby Baby, and every night we played Baby Baby, which it wasn't out yet. The crowd would go pretty crazy, and I would get chills every single night.
And these are people that they weren't necessarily there to see us either. So
that's like,
it was cool,
so comforting.
And it's like I mean, I kind of want to throw up when I say stuff like this, but it's streaming the best for sure out of all the stuff we put out. So so it's cool. We kind of knew that one had potential to be like a favorite, so we actually spent a lot of time on that one. There's like there's like 3 versions of it or something. And but yeah,
so baby baby, speaking about that, it's all about like codependency, and from personal experience, when you write songs, are you always going in with the mindset of like, I'm going to write about my own experiences, or do you like play around with like, oh, I'm going to create this story about this, it's not necessarily true, but maybe you're like sort of inserting yourself in there, or what's your processes like?
I never know what I'm going to write until I write it. And even like lyrically, especially, I never, like, my lyric writing process is like, I'll like make a song, it'll just be like all instrumental for most of the time, and then I gotta add vocals on this, so I start recording myself singing like just gibberish, just like, and then I listen to it, it's like, oh, it kind of sounds like I said, tell me that you'll be all right. And then I go through that, and then I usually like start with like a happenstance, like, ooh, that sounds good, and ooh, I said something kind of interesting here, I'm gonna keep that, but then I have to write around that, and so it's almost like the song already wants to say something before I write anything down. Like I make something and it already is filled with like or a message, and I just have to figure out what that is and try to deliver it. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of like, I almost feel like a messenger And the more I try to control it and make it about me and make it like, I mean, it is about me for sure. Like it's honest, but I have to find what it's saying first, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Christian?
I was just going to say your subconscious, you're hanging out with your subconscious. You guys are writing a song.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you can't say anything for no reason. Like when you're like gibberishly talking, I feel like the things that make sense with the song, that fit with the song, kind of naturally come out. And you're like, whoa, I just said, tell me that you'll be all right. And that kind of matches the emotion I'm hearing in this song. And you just roll with it. And then you find out, and then with my own like life experiences, kind of have to like use those to kind of finish the song. But yeah, some of it's just like subconscious drip,
Yeah, it's just like what flows out. What's it gonna tell me? You just can't hope for something.
Yeah, exactly. That's fun.
That's so cool. So the look is about you, Kayla. Someone came up to you in LA and was like, oh, are you being represented by a model? What has your like craziest like LA or most LA moments or experiences been like for the both of you? What was that?
That's definitely the most cliche one. Like that's like the funniest one. Christian, did anything happen to you in LA that stuck out? Like,
well,
so, like,
it's just crazy when I would go visit you and like we would go to like a lunch, and it would be like a late lunch, and we're thinking like we're the only ones, like we have this fake job where we're in a band. It's like, doesn't make sense that we can just take this late lunch. But then when we go out, there's so many people there that are also taking this late lunch. And so everybody's kind of in LA is living the same kind of life.
And they're like our age. Yeah.
They're our age.
Like fake jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
It really did. The way I described it all the time was like, it feels like summer camp. It feels like when everyone turns like 23, they like moved to LA to try to like make it in like some entertainment industry, and they're all just like figuring it out.
like you don't see that here in Oklahoma. Like if you're taking a late lunch, then there's like nobody there because everybody's
it's really nice. You can like kind of dodge the traffic a lot easier here.
What was living in Oklahoma like? Well, I mean, you're still living there now, but what was it like growing up there?
We always say like it's all we know, but there wasn't that much to do, so we ended up, I mean, you either played sports or you made music or you got into trouble, and we tried sports. I think all of us did, right?
Luckily we found music.
Yeah. Well, you did still stick with sports, but just in
we did
a name.
Yes, I think there's a point where I looked myself.
Mm-hmm.
I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, yeah, you're not going to be a football player.
Yeah. I'm like,
just stick to guitar.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to keep my knowledge in my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, football's brutal.
No, seriously. So I believe it was Kaylee, your favorite song of all time was Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones. Does this still hold? And Christian, do you have a favorite song?
I think it does still hold. I feel like the other day though, I said like, I can't remember what song it was, but I was like, this might be the best song of all time, but I can't remember what it was. But probably that one for me still. I just think it's like the lyrics are chilling and the performance is chilling, and it's just perfect. Every time I hear it, I get chills. It's crazy.
That's a really hard question for me to like choose one. So I'll just choose something that I've been listening to recently that's kind of new. I feel like not many people know about him, but this artist named Genesis Owusu.
Oh my gosh, yes. Didn't he just have an album come out?
Yeah, he just put out an album, but that
so good.
song Don't Need You, which I heard like through him doing the Triple J performance. I've just been obsessed with it, and it's so fresh. So
yeah, it's so good. How do you guys
remember?
Oh, could you go?
Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I was just gonna rabbit trail, but do you remember like when Future Islands did that performance on Letterman? I think it was Letterman.
Yeah, it was like their last.
It was like a huge moment. Yeah. And I feel like that's what that Triple J performance is turning into of Genesis Owusu, because it's just, I just keep seeing people post it because it's such a good performance.
Yep.
And I like the recording, like, or like almost like the performance, the live performance better than the recording.
No, me too. Yeah, there's so much energy in it and so much emotion with him. And he also, this is my favorite thing, is when you see a performer, it looks like they're having a good time. It doesn't look like they're just up there like, I gotta play this radio show or whatever. He looks like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, like he's in his element.
Exactly.
How do you guys like find your music? Like, you know, stuff that you're listening to, like whatever it may be. How do you find new music and like new inspirations?
It's easier
Christian's
and harder.
better at it than I am.
Yeah, I feel like it's gotten easier and harder at the same time. And I'll say that like it's easier because with Spotify and like fans also like, and you could quickly go on a little trail, but it's harder because there's so much music, and to really spend the time and try to get to know an artist, they really have to stick out. With that one, with Genesis, the guitar player who's in that video, I think his name is Kieran J. I always forget how to say his last name. How do you say his last name?
Callanan, I guess.
Callanan. I follow him on Instagram, and he posted that. So that was like my cue that this was going to be good, because it was already filtered by him.
Kieran is like a huge inspiration for us. Like just his whole embodiment, his thing he's doing. It's really cool to see like just something really fresh. I feel like he's doing really fresh stuff now. I kind of like, he's kind of the one, like I haven't been very good about keeping up with new music and stuff. I'm just an indecisive person in general, so anytime I'm presented with a bunch of options, I just go crazy and I can't make a decision. So I feel like that's where I'm at with music, where there's just so much of it. I'm like I don't know, I guess I'll just go work on music.
Yeah, exactly. Create the music you want to hear.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
do you have any dream collaborators? Like, do you guys like seeing yourself? Who would you collab with?
Kieran,
there we go.
That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So much fun.
You gotta get.
And then whoever's playing stadiums, somebody playing a stadium, that would be so fun.
Oh my gosh, I almost saw you guys perform a couple years ago. It was about like 2 years ago. I think it was Princeton, New Jersey, and it was like it was like a little frat thing, I think.
Oh, that show was amazing. Yeah, we had so much fun.
But I almost went to that. I did go there. I was outside the building, and I don't know if you remember this, but it was like after I was like, oh my God, we probably look so dumb. But we were there, and it was like we got there early, and it was like blackout. Like there was no lights on. I was like, is anyone here? And like we like knock on the door. It's like huge doors. I'm like, what is this like building? Someone comes out, and they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, we're here to see like the sports show. Like, well, they're, you know, it's like the tickets are online and stuff. They're like, oh, it's like exclusive only to like this fraternity thing. And I was like, we're like, oh damn, like this sucks.
Oh dang.
Yeah, so like we like start to like walk away, and then I think your van like comes up, and mind you, like we're pretty like fucked up, whatever. Your van comes up, and then we're like, oh my God, that's sports. So we're there, and we start like chanting. We're like, sports, sports, sports. And I think you guys like rolled down your window, and you're like, where do we park, or whoever was in there.
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
That. Yeah.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
It was so funny. We were like, oh damn. And then we just had to leave. We weren't allowed in, but it was just the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, dang it.
That's so funny.
We'll have to...
I think,
it was insane. It was like, I'm glad you had a great show, but you got to come back to Jersey or New York, or you know, the next big show for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're close enough to New York, that'll definitely happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That'll be sick. All right. Well, one more question. Christian, I know you're a big tea drinker. I am myself too. Do you have a favorite tea? What's your go-to tea?
Right now, since it's getting a little warmer, I've been drinking a lot of matcha.
Matcha. I've never tried matcha.
I try to drink green tea. It's kind of like a cleaner caffeine. But over the winter, Kale got this, what was that tea? The smoky tea you got?
Oh, it's called Lapsang Souchong. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. That's how I've heard it pronounced. But it's like I don't remember how they do it, but it's like, I could go like read it, but like it's like somehow they do something to it to make it smoky, and it kind of is like smoking a pipe and drinking tea at the same time. It's kind of awesome.
Crazy. That's sick.
Yeah. At first we tried it. We were like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. But then after we were like, wait, this is kind of awesome.
I might have to make some actually. It's like, let's see what they say. Nothing specific about it. But the character is pine smoke and bacon.
And bacon. What?
And my wife hates when I make this, but she's not here, so I might make some because it smells like it smells like bacon to her, and she's like, she just gets kind of nauseated when she smells it. She like hates it. So
is she like
it's weird. It's
sorry, what'd you say?
She's not a bacon fan?
She is, but she's just turned off by the idea of like a drink tasting
like bacon.
I kind of understand.
Yeah, I know. The tea, it's kind of off-putting, but like I said, once we were sipping on it, we were like, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah, which she never tried it. She never drank it, so maybe that's all she needs to do is just try it.
Don't knock it till you try it, for real.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is like, I don't think of bacon when I smell it, but if I do think of bacon, I'm like, yeah, kind of does. That's crazy. I just like thinking of like tobacco or something.
Sure. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with me and letting me interview today. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. So
thanks for the good questions. It was great.
Oh my God,
great questions. And I can't wait to play Jersey or New York, and hopefully you'll be there.
Yes, for sure. And I'll be cheering like sports